Hey guys, it's Robbie here, and this is FrekiFitWolf. Today I'm doing a collab video where we are cooking, and it is 5 points or less. It's called the 5 plates under 5 points collab. All right, so Barrett Pastor, if you haven't checked her out, go check out her channel. She's an amazing person, amazing cook. She has amazing videos. Should I say amazing one more time? Either way, check her out if you haven't yet. She's amazing. But she came up with this brilliant idea to do a collab, 5 plates, 5 points or less, which is brilliant. So there are 5 of us total in this collab. Everybody's links will be down below. So after mine, go check them out. We are all doing different types of meals. It might be breakfast, it might be snacks, it might be desserts, it might be dinners. Who knows? But it's all plates that are 5 points or less. Mine's gonna be kind of a lot less. So let's get into it. All right, so what I am doing is spaghetti squash pasta. It's pretty simple, but it's really delicious, and it's super, super low in points. I'm talking 0 points, all 3 plans. Can't beat that. Yeah, so anyway, first thing you're gonna need is a spaghetti squash. I already cut this sucker in half, and one tip that I like to share is cutting it that way versus lengthways, because the way, I haven't scooped it out yet, I'm gonna do that in a moment, but the way that the inside, the stuff that becomes the noodles, they wrap around this way. So after we cook this, we are gonna be able to get long strands, rather than if you cut it this way, you're gonna get a bunch of tiny little strands. So this way you'll be able to get more of a spaghetti type texture. All right, so you'll need that. And only other thing you need for cooking the spaghetti squash is 1 cup of water. I'll show you how in a minute. Then the pasta sauce itself. I have 2 cans of this fire roasted diced garlic tomatoes. I have about 1/2 cup of mushroom, 1/2 cup of green bell peppers, 1/2 cup of onions. And then we'll also be using 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon-ish of Italian seasoning, salt and pepper to taste. And the last thing that's going in the actual sauce, because I like to do it in the sauce, is I'm gonna be adding 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And you feel free afterwards, and that's where you'll get more points. After it's all cooked and plated, you can add more on top. That's what I'm gonna be doing. But all right, let's get into this. So the first thing I'm going to do is scoop out the insides of the spaghetti squash. And one thing I have found also, by cutting it down the middle, it all kinds of scoops out a little bit easier. It just comes out rather like in one big clump. Almost one big clump, maybe 2 clumps. But yeah, it comes out a lot easier than when you're trying to do it long ways. Plus, you can get a good grip on this sucker. I mean, if you have big guy hands. I guess most of you probably don't have big guy hands. But I do, so it helps me. And some of them aren't as big. But I can hold it as I'm scraping. Instead of when it's long and oblong, I feel like it is flopping around all over the place. So you're just gonna scoop that out of that half and scoop out the other half. And I'll be back when it's ready for the next step. All right, so the next step is pretty easy. You're gonna wanna grab your Instant Pot. If you don't have one, I'll put a link down below. You need one. They are amazing. And they all come with this little step so that you can steam things easier. Some have actually a cool little droppy guy, but mine didn't come with that. And then all you're going to do, don't worry, I cleaned my sink before setting stuff in there, is take these guys and figure out how to set them in there. And it doesn't matter if they are upside down or right side up. So since I do have a smaller Instant Pot, one is going to be upside down and one is going to be right side up. And you're going to take your cup of water and pour it at the bottom. And that's pretty much all you need to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the lid on this way. We'll see. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Close the lid. I'm going to scoot it way back here because I only have the one outlet in the kitchen. So I'm going to need more room for the next step. Plug it in over there. And then you're just going to, you're just going to do manual and set it for 8 minutes. Make sure the toggle up there is good. And that's all for that. All right, so while the Instant Pot is going, I'm going to take my little magic bullet, well, this is the big part of it, and I'm going to pour those cans of diced tomatoes in there. Now this is the fire roasted and garlic. You can use regular diced tomatoes. You can get fresh tomatoes and dice them up your darn self if you want to. But it's easier like that, and it's got some flavoring in there. I'm all about being it super quick, super lazy, super easy. Pop the lid on, and then we are going to just puree it. We're gonna make it mushy. I'm probably gonna cut this so that it's not so loud, so BRB. All right, so you can see it is all liquidy. That's all you need to do for that. All right, so then we're just gonna go over here and spray a skillet with some olive oil spray. Turn it on. And first you want to add your onions and your bell peppers. And we're going to cook these down until the onions are a little bit translucent, and then we will add the mushrooms. All right, so you can see that's been going for about 2 or 3 minutes. It's all cooked down some, and now I'm going to add in the mushrooms. Mushrooms cook a lot faster, so we don't want them on there the whole time. All right, so those are good. So I'm going to take them off the heat, and I'm going to switch to a saucepan. And here's where we pour in basically the crushed tomatoes. And to that, I'm going to start with half a cup of water. I don't want to overdo the water. And add these bad boys back in there. And then to that, we are going to add the Italian seasonings. Italian. My roommate always makes fun of me because I say Italian way too often. I don't know. It's just something that I say, and I know it's incorrect, but I can't help it. So, tough cookies. And this does have garlic already. So I am actually going to switch and go to a teaspoon of the minced garlic rather than the tablespoon, because I forgot that I had the tomatoes that already had garlic. And then you just want to mix all of that together. And this is working out perfectly because the Instant Pot over here is still not pressurized. So at this point, we're going to bring this to a boil and then turn it down low to a simmer. I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that it's starting to bubble up. So that is when I'm going to turn it down between medium and low, and we are going to let it simmer for a while and keep stirring. I'm gonna let it go for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add in the Parmesan cheese. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes. All right, so that's been about 5 minutes. You can see it's kind of cooking down a little bit. You might be able to tell, I don't know. I can tell. And this is where I'm adding in the Parmesan cheese. Again, 1/4 of a cup. And you just want to stir that in, and then we're gonna let this simmer for about another 5 minutes, which is perfect because our Instant Pot is got 3 minutes left. All right, so they are out of the Instant Pot and they are really, really hot. So you gotta be really careful taking them out. If you do have the little tray with the handles, it makes it so much easier. I used oven mitts and just grabbed and yanked, and yeah. All right, so this is the next part to get the actual squash. Like I said, you can see these suckers are soft and done. So you wanna just kind of loosen them up a little bit. And I have a towel here just because the outside is still really, really hot. But you want to take the teeth of your fork and you just want to start pulling it away. And then that way you can have longer, quote unquote, spaghetti noodles. And you want to do a little bit at a time because otherwise it gets kind of clumpy. And honestly, you could probably just eat it straight out of here. I'm not going to, but you totally could. This would make a cute little bowl. But I am measuring, so not doing that. All right, so I'll be back after I get all of this emptied out. My favorite part of every cooking video is where I get to eat. But first of all, let me just show you. This is what it looks like when it's all done. That's pretty picture perfect. I'm proud of myself on that one. But all right, so let me taste it. I mean, I've had this before. This is a pretty simple, easy go-to. Doesn't take very long, especially if you have an Instant Pot, but still. Yeah, that is delicious. Okay, I'm not gonna eat everything on the camera. But, so that was my 5-point or less plate. Well, in this case, it's actually a bowl. I did split it up into 5 servings because it made 5 cups of the squash and easily 5 cups of that sauce. So, even with the Parmesan cheese in there, it's still 0 points. Pretty awesome. Whichever WW plan you are on, 0 points. I think that is fantastic. I can add a ton more Parmesan cheese on top if I want to. I did sprinkle a little bit on there, so I could probably track it as 1 point. I didn't measure, I just kind of sprinkled because it was enough to make it cute. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so that is that. I'm gonna read the rest of the nutritional information so that you can find out in case you are not doing WW or using iTrack Bites. You can find out. But if you are on green, purple, blue, Sugar Smart, all the rest, it's 0 points across the board. Technically on iTrack Bites 0.3. So enough servings of this will add up to something. But obviously that is because if you have 5 servings, you're gonna have a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. The one thing in there that costs points. So keep that in mind if you are making the sauce that way with the cheese in it. You can always just add the cheese afterwards. I like the flavor that it does when it's cooked into the sauce. But all right, so real quick, the rest of the nutritional information, I am going to type it all below, but still, it is 84.2 calories for 1 servings of this. That is 1 cup of the spaghetti squash and 1/2 cup of the sauce. 84.2 calories. 0.9 grams of fat, 0.5 grams of saturated fat, 15.7 grams of carbs. So if you are on low carb, might not be the best option, but if that's all you're having, not horrible. 5.1 grams of fiber, 8.2 grams of sugar, 4.2 grams of protein. Now, that being said, obviously there's a million different ways you can do this. You can make a sauce with meat. You can serve it with bread. You can do a bunch of different other options. This is just my personal choice on when I want a low point, or in this case, 0 point dinner. And honestly, I'm gonna be putting more Parmesan cheese on there. That's gonna cost me some points. And since I do get a lot of points in the day, I'm gonna eat, pretty much all 5 servings. Probably. Actually, I'm probably gonna save it for throughout the week and have something with a little bit more points to it. Because as I just read, it is 0 points, but it is not 0 calories. 1 serving is 84 calories. Obviously, 5 servings would not kill me and not throw me hardcore into a huge amount of calories, but I still do not like filling up my day with 0 point foods. But this is a great option for those of you that do not get 67 points in a day like I do right now, like I won't eventually. This is a great option for dinner because then you can have more higher point foods throughout the day and have this. You could have dessert. You could have this and then have dessert. It's kind of Italian. I don't know what Italian desserts are, but I'm craving flan right now for some random reason. You could have flan after this because this was 0 points. Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank Barrett Pastor again for inviting me to be a part of this. Excuse the mess. I realize I always make a mess in my kitchen when I cook. Gonna have to clean. Anyway, thank you, Barrett Pastor. I appreciate you inviting me to be part of this, and thank you to everybody else that is participating. Seriously, check out the other 4 videos below. The links will be there, and check out what everybody comes up with. This is a great opportunity to come up with maybe some new ideas, and these are just all of our personal favorite go-tos or easy go-tos for low point things. Although I don't know, Lisa might not go easy. She's pretty creative and she's pretty a master chef in that kitchen. So hers might not be easy, but hers always look amazing. And she explains how to do everything. So check her out. And Jen and everyone else that is part of this, check them out. You will enjoy them, I promise. If you don't, it's not my fault. But I promise anyway. All right, so thank you again. And I have another collab popping up on my channel in a little bit, so stay tuned.